I'm not a big fan of the DOT standard, and if you're riding with the DOT only helmet, I'll give you something to think about this week. What inspired you to ride a motorcycle? Why did you get your first motorcycle? Well, if you're like most people, you got a motorcycle because you wanted an adventure. We talk a lot about road skills and road strategy on MCrider. The reason we develop those skills is not just for safety, it's also because of where those skills can take us and the people we can meet along the way. Lemon Rock Bike Tours offers full-service motorcycle tours in Ireland and Scotland. They have a tour scheduled July 12th through July 27th called Lands of the Celts. On this tour, you'll see some of the most beautiful sights, ride some of the most technical roads, and explore some of the best hidden gems that Ireland and Scotland have to offer. If you're looking for an adventure, there's no better place to put your skills to use than with Lemon Rock Bike Tours. Leave the planning to them and let Lemon Rock show you some of the best roads in Ireland and Scotland. Go to mcrider.com/lemonrock and book their Land of the Celts tour and give yourself that adventure. It's why we ride, and it's why nothing compares to riding a motorcycle on some of the most beautiful roads in the world. I'm looking to go for a ride with them next year, and then I'll be able to say, I'll see you on the road in Ireland. Hey, my name's Kevin, and I'm the host of a weekly show here on MCrider to help you develop your road skills and road strategy. You can become a member at mcrider.com/support and get access to the forums and the field guide where I have training exercises to help you work on your riding skills on any open parking lot. Spring is a good time to make sure your motorcycle's ready for the riding season and to take an assessment of your riding gear for the coming season, especially what you choose to put on your head. Because your helmet, just like the vegetables in your refrigerator, has an expiration date. The rule of thumb for a helmet has an expiration in about 5 years. So just like cleaning out the fridge every once in a while, sometimes it's necessary to clean out the motorcycle gear and to look for a new lid, even though the one you've got appears to be just fine. The reason why helmets offer less protection as they get older is that the foam inside the helmet breaks down with age. The older it gets, the less it will be able to absorb the impact of a crash. Other things that have an impact on how a helmet ages are the frequency of use and in what conditions it's used. So the more you ride, the quicker it'll break down. How much you sweat. If you ride in Texas like me, you're going to sweat a lot in a full-face helmet in the summer heat, and this has an impact on the helmet's deterioration. Hair products like hair gels, hairspray can interact with the foam and the comfort lining, causing them to break down quicker. And where the helmet's stored has an impact. So if you keep the helmet in a climate-controlled room, as opposed to hot in the summer and freezing in the winter garage, it will have an impact on how your helmet ages as well. The critical thing about helmet age is you can't determine how much it's deteriorated just by looking at the helmet. It may look totally fine on the outside and have a protective liner that has lost its effectiveness due to age. So that's why helmet manufacturers, and Snell for that matter, recommend replacing your helmet about every 5 years. Some people complain about throwing out a helmet that looks just fine, but it's simply a cost of motorcycle ownership. Your gear needs to be replaced in order to provide full protection. If you look inside your helmet, you should be able to find a sticker that tells you the date your helmet was manufactured on. Use that date as a guide, and if it's more than 5 years old, it's time to start thinking about a new helmet. Make sure you look for that sticker and that you don't confuse it with other stickers you may find. A Snell helmet will have a sticker on the inside of it with a date. That sticker tells you what the standard was used, or the date of the standard was used that Snell used to test that helmet, and it has nothing to do with the production date of the helmet. Okay, let's get to that DOT sticker and why I place very little value on it. Most consumers would purchase a helmet, and it shows that the helmet is DOT certified with that sticker on the back. So one would assume that that means the helmet has been tested by the government and it met the safety requirements set up by the DOT. Well, wrong. The DOT does in fact have safety standards for helmets that many think are outdated, but that's a different story. But it's up to the manufacturer of the helmet to safety test the helmet and to say it's okay. Then they tell the government that the helmet meets the standards that the DOT has set up, and they can slap a DOT sticker on the back of the helmet. So essentially, the DOT is leaving the company, who is in this to make as large a profit margin as they can, in charge of the safety standards for the helmet. So how bad is this? Well, the DOT does occasionally spot check helmet safety. They hire an outside firm to perform these checks for them, and their most recent test concluded that 43% of helmets with a DOT sticker did not meet DOT standards for performance. The DOT does require the helmet manufacturers to issue a recall and the companies fined, but a whopping 43% of helmets with a DOT sticker should never have been sold in the first place. I also question how effective a helmet recall is for removing unsafe helmets from the marketplace, and especially once those helmets have been sold. I doubt that they could ever track the majority of owners down. So what should you do? Well, there's a lot of helmet safety standards, and I don't want to get into which ones are best. There's the European standard called the ECE, there's the Snell standard, and there's a great standard called Sharp that I really like. I really like Sharp because they have a great website that allows you to search for and see how actual helmets fared in real-world testing. In the US, it can be a little bit confusing at times because the same helmet in the UK may be sold under a different name than what's sold in the US, but with a little bit of research, you can figure out which two helmets are the same. So what are some things to consider when you're out shopping for a helmet? Well, in my opinion, buy a brand name helmet. Shoei, Arai, Bell, HAC, Schuberth. There's a lot of reputable helmet manufacturers out there, and you don't have to spend several $100s for a safe helmet. I would recommend purchasing something that has more certification than DOT alone, because we've shown how that testing works. ECE or Snell certified is a good place to start. Make sure that the helmet fits, not just the proper size, but the proper shape for your head. The only way that you can determine that is by trying it on and wearing it in the store for a few minutes to see if you have pressure spots. Now, not all large helmets will fit the same, and not all will provide the same level of comfort and protection if they do not fit you properly. So it's important to try a helmet on to find one that fits your head shape and one in the proper size for you. For me, Shoei helmets just fit. They're a brand name, they're tested, and I know I can grab any Shoei full-face helmet, size large, and it will fit me properly. But what do you get when you spend more money on a helmet? What's the difference between a cheap helmet and an expensive helmet? As a general rule, more expensive helmets are lighter while offering the same level or slightly better level of protection. This makes them more comfortable if you're going to wear them all day. More expensive helmets are going to offer removable liners that can be washed and are made of softer, more premium materials. A microbial fiber found in many of the higher-end helmets will keep the helmet fresher longer. And as a general rule, more expensive helmets will have better venting, so they're cooler on a hot day. More expensive helmets will have various shell sizes. So the shell size on a large Shoei GT Air is not the same shell size on a small Shoei GT Air, even though it's the same make and model. Cheaper made helmets offer fewer shell sizes, so that's the outer portion of the helmet, and they make up the difference in the size by adding more foam or more comfort liner to the inside to make it fit smaller heads. So a person who wears a small is going to have a bigger shell than what they necessarily need, and that's the way that some manufacturers cut costs. Your budget is not a huge factor in finding a helmet that will offer the same level of safety that a more expensive helmet will, but you'll have to give up some things for a less expensive helmet in weight, shell size, and lining, and those kind of things. So in my opinion, DOT is not all it is cracked up to be, and the age of your helmet matters. So how old is your helmet? Is it time for a new one? If you don't have a local shop near you to help with your selection, go to MCrider.com/new helmet. That'll forward you directly to Revzilla's page with every major brand of helmet at your disposal. They have a ton of information to help you in your selection. They offer free exchanges if it doesn't fit properly, and they have very good prices. Also, a small portion of that sale will help support MCrider by providing us a small kickback for every helmet or gear that you purchase through that link. So good luck finding a helmet. If you have something that works for you, leave a comment below and tell us about it. We'll also be discussing this video on the forums. Till next week, guys, it's Kevin with MCrider, and I'll see you on the road.